Greetings all. I hope you won't find this year's parable of mine of the Christmas spirit too strange, but it goes like this, and it's something that happened to me just a few days ago. I was in London for a very long all-day meeting, and I have to confess that at the end of the meeting I felt tempted to slip into a public house down the street from where we were meeting and sit by a warm fire in the corner, just enjoying the atmosphere and drinking a pint of bitter. What I didn't realise until the pint was pulled was that it was a card-only pub, and being the old-fashioned character that I am, I only had cash. So there I was, faced with the dilemma of the pint sitting on the bar and no way of paying for it. And there were two women, friends, talking animatedly to each other just down the bar from me, and one of them obviously realised my predicament, and she pulled a plastic card from her handbag and tapped it, and so my drink was paid for. Someone I never saw before, who will never see me again, who decided, I don't know whether in the spirit of the season, to do an act of spontaneous generosity for which she could expect no reward or return at all. I did reveal my clerical shirt to her. Before I left the pub, it had previously been hidden by a scarf, and I said she had made my Christmas by acting in the spirit of it. And that was a nice moment. And it reminded me of another thing that happened to me in the same city many, many years ago when I was a child. I think it was one of the first times I visited London, and my father was showing me all the sights, and we were sitting in a restaurant having lunch, and I was full of all the things in the guidebook I wanted to see next. And there was a businessman across the table, and my father clearly was worried that my babble would be annoying him as he tried to study the contents of his briefcase. He didn't say anything, but as he got up to leave, he took from his pocket a half-crown. Do you remember those? And he handed it to me with words I've never forgotten. He said, "Michael, there are a lot of things to see in London. This might help you to see one of them." Those are two little stories of spontaneous generosity on the part of people who could expect nothing back, but who were somehow moved to give. And to me, that is truly what Christmas giving is all about. Sacrificial, generous giving, summed up by the famous Greek word agape, generous love, in the spirit of Christ himself, who sacrificially gives, not with an expectation, as it were, of what we can give back. And so, as we all celebrate Christmas, perhaps it's no harm in the midst of the season of giving just to remember it's not all about that carefully calculated giving we all do within our families, which is all very nice in its own way. You know, what will I give Aunt so-and-so? How much will I spend on her? How much is she in turn going to spend on me? What will I get from her? How will I do my shopping so that nobody catches me out on Christmas Eve by giving me something when I've given nothing to them? You know all of that. And that's all great fun, and it's all part of the spirit of being under the Christmas tree and opening up our presents. But at the end of the day, deeper Christmas generosity is that sacrificial, generous love of those who can give nothing back, but who share the image of Christ. That's why, for example, what we do for the Bishop's Appeal at Christmas is so supremely important. That's why our Christmas giving budget should include some giving that is in that kind of spirit, because that truly will make the season for us. And indeed, it is in the Spirit of God in Christ, who sparked off the whole giving thing, after all, by being the supreme gift above all gifts, given to us undeserving human beings, in that stable at Christmas when God, to the music of the angels, came among us in the greatest and most joyful gift of all. And to come back to where I started, that divine generosity happened when nobody expected it, at the back of a pub. Happy Christmas. Nullig Hannah Díobh Galéir.